Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Georgiana again with Expressions Craft Studio, and if you've been watching, you know I've been working on gift card holders lately, and I continue to play with them because I apparently am kind of fixated on them right now. So yesterday, just playing around, I designed this one that I'm showing you right now, and this is some old wrapping paper that I had left, and I'm almost out of it. And I attached it to an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. And then yesterday I just cut it out. Now I used the measurements. Let me tell you. Let me get some details here for you. I used the measurements from stampingwithtracy.com, and her name's Tracy Bradley. And this is a gift card holder she made back on December 9th in 2022. Now, I'll add the link to her blog post below. She does include all of her measurements. I could give those to you right now, but I do mine a little differently. So what she does is she takes one 8.5 by 11 and cuts it in half at 5.5, and so she gets 2 gift card holders out of one sheet. That seemed a little wasteful to me when I looked at the measurements. I realize it's easy. And that's great because a lot of us like easy, but the gift card just kind of seemed to swim around in the gift card holder. So I shrunk mine down a little bit to where I get 3 out of an 8.5 by 11 because the gift cards are all the same standard size. I mean, you may find one once in a great while that's different, but they're all pretty much the same size as a credit card. So you know, you can get 3 out of a sheet. Now the last video I did, she also got 3 out of a sheet, but she cut it differently. So I'm going to switch over to Cricut here, and I'm going to show you what I've worked with. So I created this because I can't ever just do it one way because I just never know. So I actually created number 2 first, and it should be in the 1 slot, but it's not. And then I thought, whoa, thumb holes might be nice. So I did a copy of it and I added the thumb holes, which is probably the one I will use most often. But I do have a circle punch, so I can always cut out my own thumb holes if I want. Some people might not want them for some reason. That's perfectly fine too. So these first two, 1 and 2, are identical, except that one has thumb holes and one does not. Number 3 is the 2 bottom ones are identical. Again, there's no thumb holes on those, and the top one is different. It's a little bit bigger because I omitted this extra piece of cardstock. I didn't go ahead and cut that off in case you want to do what I did on the one I did yesterday, which was put a fancy frame on it with a border die. So let me kind of show you that. Let's get back to our work surface. And this is the one I did yesterday. So this is my wrapping paper that I attached to a lightweight cardstock. I think it was index weight. I added a sentiment to the inside. You could have easily added it there if you wanted. It is a tight fit, but it does fit a card. We're back to our trusty Bass Pro card, and it just slides right in. I've got my thumb hole there, which I really like. And I added, I'm going to show it to you this way, this fancy border. I could do that on the Cricut. I haven't done it yet. I will probably go ahead and modify the file to include, or maybe just make a new file with fancy border edges, but for the flap. But what I used was this die set here. I'm sorry, I don't know who it's from. I had a similar set, or in fact an identical set, gifted to me from one of my crafty friends, but little did I know I already had it. So I used this one here. I just love the soft scallopy edge, and it's rounded, so the points aren't going to get bent. So that's the one I went with, and I think you can see it's really cute. And then it holds your gift card, and then I kind of cheaped out on the band. I already had cut this blue or this red ribbon, so I was determined to use it, even though that stitching is a dark navy blue and not black. But I thought, well, is anybody really going to notice it? Now I did put Merry Christmas in this one, but honestly, this would be a great, because I dolled it up so much. Hang on. Listen, you know I have trouble sometimes getting these ribbon belly bands back on there. But I don't give up. I just try to be very careful. There we go. Woohoo. So, this is some jewels I've had forever, and I've got a bunch more of them. They're just rhinestones and flat back pearls, and but they're beautiful. And I thought, well, even though I went ahead and put a Christmas sentiment in it, this would be great for an anniversary. I could easily change. I could just put another sentiment over the top of that one. It's just on copy paper and it's glued down. Great for an anniversary, a special birthday, a wedding gift. I mean, there's all kinds of things that this is just perfect for. And I could easily also replace this red ribbon with something else. I did have to use Fabri-Tac to get that to stick. It's all metal on the back, and my regular glue just wasn't going to hold it. So I did have to use Fabri-Tac there. Hot glue would have probably worked as well. I just absolutely hate dragging out my hot glue gun and waiting for it to warm up. So anyway, this is the one I did yesterday. So then I kind of took that, and I was working with a full sheet of 8.5 by 11, almost a full sheet. It was like a 1/4 inch off on one side. And I thought, well, I'm just going to try this because I've had this sheet forever, a couple of years now, I think, and I just couldn't decide what I was going to use it on. So when I realized, as I was going through paper looking for more scraps to use up, I thought this would make the perfect gift card holder. So I'm going to get 2 more out of that, hopefully. And maybe I'll just make a belly band out of a nice black printed cardstock or something. I don't know yet. You could also use little magnets if you want. I have some. I just didn't get them out. Because of the way I did this one, I didn't put any other decorative papers on it. I felt like the wrapping paper was decorative enough. I didn't need anything else. The one that Tracy made, was it Tracy or Stacy? Oh, forgive me. Tracy. The one that Tracy made, she did use layering pieces, you know, which is great. So I went ahead and I cut out a bunch just plain test pieces on manila card, or kind of a vanilla cardstock, because I have a lot of that, just to kind of go over this. But the files. So let's see, what are we looking at here? Okay, we got our desktop on, which is good. So this is file number 1, and you get the three gift card holders out of it. Let's go out. There we go. And you have this little scrap that you could use for something. So that's where files 1 and 2 are the same. And you can see it just gives you just the tiniest little lip right here. And there's enough room there for your card to go in. I'm going to find a pretty gift card to practice with. I like fishing. I don't like to eat fish, but I want a prettier gift card than Bass Pro. So if anybody's got one out there that's not got anything left on it, and you just, you know, I'll either trade you because this one's no good, or you know, if you've got one pretty that I can use that you just want to send me, that'd be great. My address is below, I think. If not, you know, but don't send me an actual one with money on it. I don't need that. So anyway, this was gift card 1, and what I did was I glued down. I just ran a thin bead of glue down these outer edges and folded it over. Your gift card's going to hide most of this background here, so I didn't really think it needed. Now, obviously with this paper I would probably put something, but it doesn't really need anything unless you want to put a to and a from right there, and then you can have like a Merry Christmas or Happy Birthday or whatever greeting up there. That's up to you. But that was 1. So 2 is the same thing, except we don't have any thumb holes. So go ahead and fold it up. The thing I like about cutting it with the Cricut, and you certainly don't have to, yet the ones I did yesterday, I did not use my Cricut, is that I get more accurate cuts, because no matter what I do, I don't seem to get straight. I either don't hold the paper tight enough and it slips, therefore it's slanted, or maybe, I don't know. But so this was Yeah, this is another one, and you can put your slot in there. In fact, I'll show you how I did that, which I'm sure many of you already know this. But I've just got, this is a 3/4 inch punch from Hobby Lobby, Joann's, wherever, they all have them. And I just kind of, it's got these little arrows, which I only recently realized, to show you where the center of the hole is. So I kind of try to line those up, and then I just eyeball from side to side. And it's probably almost never perfect, but it's good enough for me. So because I like the thumb holes, I'll go ahead and punch those on these others. I will cover these with some prettier paper just because I made them. I don't know what I'll do with them yet, but. And then this last one, number 3, is the one where you've got 2 that are the same and 1 that is different. So the one that's different is a little bit narrower and it's a little bit longer. Now these should fold up exactly the same as these other 2. Yep. So the bottom 2 will fold up exactly the same as the gift card holders in file 1 and 2. So it's this top part, which actually goes across the top of the cut, that will fold differently. And the reason I left this longer, I will show you. I keep misplacing my bone folder. Is so you could put a fancy edge on here. Trying to get that edge lined up there. Well, so this really just folds all the way to the bottom, which is fine. But if you want to see, this is too, in my opinion, this is too tall for the gift card, because you can't really see the gift card once it's in there. It's completely hidden. So I would cut some of that off as well. I just put this in there because it's closer to what she had in her file, even though it's not as wide. She used the whole width, I believe, of the paper, you know, length, but she had it landscape. Yeah, I know, that didn't make any sense to me either. So when I did the die, oops, see, there's the other set that my friend gave me, which didn't know was a duplicate. So I just kind of center this wherever I want it, run it through the die machine, and then I get a pretty edge. If you have border dies, this is a great way to use them. I'm not going to do this right now because I wanted this to be a quick video, but that's how you do it. You could even do it down here if you wanted to, just to make it a little bit different since you've got so much space. So I'm going to put all 3 files out there. Let's go back to our file. And I'll leave all 3 of them out there. Now I've put these instructions here. They're all in red and it's all grouped together. So when you're ready to cut, you can just hide that, just like that. The other thing you can do, let me go ahead and keep that hidden for a second. The other thing you can do is, I have this set to cut out the square edge. But if you're working with an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, you don't really need that. So I took it, or you can take it, and you can take this background and hide that as well. And then it will only cut and score this piece. Now, you must remember that there is a 1/4 inch allowance on the mat, so you're going to want to slide your paper over to that normal, to where it's right at that edge of that normal cutting allowance, or you know, scrap, whatever. I don't really know what they call it, selvage allowance, maybe that's in fabric, I don't know. But otherwise you'll have to finish cutting that little 1/4 inch yourself, which is not a big deal, but you can, you know, it's up to you. Or you probably could make this file a little bit bigger, but that'll change the proportions of your folds. So yeah, it's 6 to 1, half a dozen other. Maybe we'll do that someday in the future, but that's how you get it to just to cut and score the folds and the cuts of the actual cards without it actually cutting out the whole square. There it is. So that's just another little freebie for you. If it helps anybody out, great. I will continue to work on this file today, which is what is it? This is Saturday. No, this is Friday in September. The last Friday in September. So I'll continue to work on this today so that you can get your pretty, background layering bits if you want them. And I'll try to group all those together as well so that you can just hide them if you don't want them. Because if you use a pretty enough paper, like the one that we used, then you don't need those layering bits. So there you go. I don't remember where I got these, so I can't put a link to that. The ribbon's just something I've had forever. And this wrapping paper is 10 or 15 years old. Seriously. So, but just wanted to share that with y'all. So, again, I'll put the link to my Facebook page below. And you can get the link for the freebie there to Design Space. And what else? I will also link Tracy's page as well, so you can check out her blog. And you might prefer to just do 2 to a page. Maybe you like a bigger gift card holder because maybe you want to put a smaller card in it, or maybe write a letter or a bigger I don't know. But anyway, it's a good tutorial, so I'll share hers too. And I think that's it. I think we're going to wrap this up and keep on moving. So until next time, guys, this is Georgiana saying I hope you have a happy crafty day.